The Edge Life Expo and Events would like to invite you to the 15th Annual Minneapolis Holistic Expo at the Earl Brown Heritage Center. The expo will feature keynote speakers James Van Praagh, Kayla Michelle, Kelly Miller, and others. There will be over 80 exhibitors, 25 workshops, psychics, healers, and so much more. For more information, go to edgelife.net.
My name is Gary Beckman. I'm the producer of the Edge Life Expos. I'll see you at the event.
Is everything he said true?
Yes, it is. He was in the hospital 6 weeks before he passed.
There are some extraordinary stories in James's book of Talking to Heaven.
Internationally renowned psychic medium and #1 New York Times best-selling author, James Van Praagh is recognized as one of the most insightful and accurate spiritual mediums of our time. And he continues to be the most highly sought-after medium on popular radio and television programs.
I love you so much, and I want everyone to know he gave me a psychic reading because my mom passed away 2 years ago, and he was amazing and totally spoke to my mom and knew things that nobody could ever say that you're full of it, because I know firsthand that you are absolutely not full of it.
His communication with the other side brings solace and spiritual insights to millions by expanding perceptions of life, death, and the connection between.
I know there was some problems ahead of time with the family. You understand that? And he wants to say he's very sorry for being so stubborn.
Dedicated to elevating the consciousness of the planet, James travels the world, teaching mediumship development classes, hosting cruises to spiritual destinations, and conducting sold-out seminars.
Television's most famous medium, James Van Praagh, is having Hollywood visions.
During his career, his reputation and profession have seen him work with international heads of state, religious world leaders, and known entertainment celebrities.
A lot of celebrities continue to come. That Oprah and Cindy Williams, and Whoopi Goldberg, Cher contacted you to reach Sonny Bono.
Yeah, and he said, you were sitting on the closet floor. I was holding the earrings that I gave you for like our 8th anniversary, and I was watching you. And she said, yes, I was doing that.
He is the co-executive producer of the #1 hit series Ghost Whisperer, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt.
He and I have had the opportunity to get a unique friendship going.
Want more James? Then you've come to the right place. You've arrived at vanpraagh.com. Now, take the next step to connect with James.
There are 2 hospitals that they wanted to bring him to, okay? I don't know if one was full and they had to go to another hospital.
How did you know that?
The Edge Life Expo and Events would like to invite you to the 15th Annual Minneapolis Holistic Expo at the Earl Brown Heritage Center. The expo will feature keynote speakers James Van Praagh, Kayla Michelle, Kelly Miller, and others. There will be over 80 exhibitors, 25 workshops, psychics, healers, and so much more. For more information, go to edgelife.net.
My name is Gary Beckman. I'm the producer of the Edge Life Expos. I'll see you at the event.
When we talk about manifestation or getting stuff, no, we want 2 cars, 3 houses. You got 1 butt. Why do you need 4 cars?
Advanced students understand that it works exactly the opposite, not to try to magnetize something to us, but to try to bring something through us.
The calling is always upon us. It's called the next stage of our evolution. There's something within all of us that we must express.
There is a journey that is for each one of us to take, and that journey is the Moses journey.
Moses caught in that moment this powerful code of transformation and manifestation. He was able to lift up an entire nation to see who and what they really were and whose they really were.
I was married to a woman who didn't necessarily have to talk about these things because she just lived them. My daughter and I woke up to hear that 2 men had broken into her apartment and had killed her.
It's easy to love yourself when you wake up feeling worthy, but is that even love?
And at times, all of us, including myself, at times find it hard to love that which our mental perception would say, you know what, I can't love that.
Today we have the power to destroy the world many times over, but the Moses Code unleashes a new kind of power, one that creates worlds and helps us fulfill our individual and collective destiny.
Knowing that the entire world was experiencing all the separation and fear and chaos, here I was standing there, experiencing the greatest bliss and beauty of my life.
The love was so intense, and the beauty was beyond anything that I could even describe.
All of the material world was just garbage at that point. It didn't matter.
The Moses Code is...
The Edge Life Expo and Events would like to invite you to the 15th Annual Minneapolis Holistic Expo at the Earl Brown Heritage Center. The expo will feature keynote speakers James Van Praagh, Kayla Michelle, Kelly Miller, and others. There will be over 80 exhibitors, 25 workshops, psychics, healers, and so much more. For more information, go to edgelife.net.
My name is Gary Beckman. I'm the producer of the Edge Life Expos. I'll see you at the event.
This is Luke Danskin. Luke has an incredible ability to communicate with the spirit world.
Your dad's middle name was Kavanagh.
Yes.
Your dad said he was passed before you got married in 1982, was that right?
How do you know that?
I'm a little bit psychic. As far back as I can remember, I've always seen spirit, felt spirit, and always had that ability to communicate with them. Well, what happens during the reading is it comes to me in thoughts. Spirit communicate with me through thoughts and feelings and emotions in different ways.
Audiences are left amazed at his ability to give detailed messages with unbelievable accuracy.
Did he wear the hat?
Yes.
Yeah, because he said, look, they've still got the hat, or the hat's still there, yeah?
I've got it.
Yeah, you go. Do you touch his hand? As he was passing or whatever? Yeah, because he's talking about you holding my hand. Did he strip off when he was drunk?
Sorta.
What do you mean, sorta? He's just stripped down to nothing there.
He used to struggle to get his clothes off when he was drunk.
Struggle to get them off when he was drunk? He's not got a problem now.
Luke is passionate in encouraging people to celebrate the lives of their past loved ones.
He said he's got the photos. He's got the photos. Did you put photos in his coffin? He's got them up. He said, tell her a hero when she speaks to him. All right? She's the one that sees Mum, so I need you to look for her looking at your little corner.
I've seen it before, yeah.
She sees your Mum. I want people to leave feeling hugely uplifted and knowing that their loved ones who are passed are still with them. To help people just means everything. That's the reason I do my job.
The reading with Luke was amazing. He gave me names that I never expected him to give me.
It was amazing. I was overwhelmed.
My reading with Luke was amazing. Totally blew my mind.
It was all about my mum, and I just feel more at ease and more comforted now.
I always wanted to talk to my dad. That's why I went to his show. But it was my mother that came through. So it was really good to hear from my dad.
I've been told by other people how good he was, and I just had to come today.
Who would I recommend Luke to? Everybody.
I would recommend Luke to everybody, all my friends and family. He's the best medium I've ever seen.
Luke is taking his live show on tour.
Taking my shows on tour is fantastic. It allows me to reach so many more people and help them in a bigger way as possible. It allows people to see messages being built through a show. Every message is so different and every show is so different, and even me, I never know what to expect. It's amazing. The lights just flickered.
Visit www.lukedanskin.com for more information on tour dates near you.
The Edge Life Expo and Events would like to invite you to the 15th Annual Minneapolis Holistic Expo at the Earl Brown Heritage Center. The expo will feature keynote speakers James Van Praagh, Kayla Michelle, Kelly Miller, and others. There will be over 80 exhibitors, 25 workshops, psychics, healers, and so much more. For more information, go to edgelife.net.
My name is Gary Beckman. I'm the producer of the Edge Life Expos. I'll see you at the event.
Hey, I'm Angie Blaha. So anyone can basically access their own record. When we access our records, we become enlightened. Now when I go into my records, it's all about teaching. What do I get to teach now? Teaching the Akashic records, different avenues of teaching the records. Because that's kind of my primary focus right now, It's how do I teach and empower others to use their own soul's vibration to help them within their own lifetime? How can I empower people to heal their own life? So that's why I teach the Akashic Records.
The Edge Life Expo and Events would like to invite you to the 15th Annual Minneapolis Holistic Expo at the Earl Brown Heritage Center. The expo will feature keynote speakers James Van Praagh, Kayla Michelle, Kelly Miller, and others. There will be over 80 exhibitors, 25 workshops, psychics, healers, and so much more. For more information, go to edgelife.net.
My name is Gary Beckman. I'm the producer of the Edge Life Expos. I'll see you at the event.
Hi, I'm Kayla Michelle, and I'm a psychic medium, a teacher, and a speaker. First thing that usually happens when I let people know what I do is they ask right away, how did you know you were psychic, or when did you become psychic? Were you born with it, or was this something that you learned? Firstly, my opinion is that everyone is born with this. I have a saying that not everyone's an opera singer, but everyone can sing. So it doesn't mean you shouldn't be singing in the shower. Same thing with psychic abilities or intuitive abilities. We're all born with it. We all have that innate tool to let us know when something doesn't feel right, when something's wrong. Our gut tells us that maybe we should go left instead of right. And I simply just chose to work on what I already had. When I was a child, I knew when people were lying to me. I could tell if there had been a fight in a room when I walked in because the energy felt different. I knew if some of my playmates were at home or not at home without having to call. Just random strangers, I would know things about them. I was pretty much told by family that I was crazy, that I didn't know anything for sure, that I was making it up. I had an active imagination. And after years of being told that I was wrong or just nonsensical, I just really shut it down. And it wasn't until my late 20s that it just kind of popped up again. I actively started hearing spirit, which I found out later to be my spirit guides and my angels. And they would tell me. They would tell me things that were coming up. They saved me in some dangerous situations, actually. And it was this really beautiful relationship that I cultivated with spirit. I, like many other people, I took classes so I could hone into these special kind of tools and gifts. Once I got beyond just the intuitive, I could actually feel things, physically feel sensations. I could smell things and taste things. I could see spirit. Most of it is inside me, in my head, not with the naked eye, but sometimes it is. And I hear things, both audibly and also inside my head in that psychic. Why do I do what I do? My main goal is to work with clients in the community on that psychic level, not so much the mediumship level, just to help people navigate this lifetime. I believe that everything we experience, everything that we believe, is either out of fear or out of love. And anything, it just kind of lies on that line, on that spectrum. And typically if a client comes to me, they're stuck, which usually is a fear-based thing. So we will delve into what they're stuck on and how we can move them out of that stuck or out of that fear phase and into that forward movement, which is always going to be love-based. I work really closely with the client's angels and their spirit guides to receive that information. And again, I get it pretty much every way you can. I hear it, I see it, I feel it. I will sometimes taste it, smell it, and it's just this whole big kind of circus in my head. And my job is to take all that information and put it in a form that my client can understand it. And it's really kind of cool because intuitively I know whether this person relates more to visual or to verbal, or to actually feeling, where we'll just kind of touch stuff and I'm like, it kind of feels like that, or it makes me feel this way when I tap into your energy. And it's great because that is the perfect way for this information to get to the client, so in their perspective it makes perfect sense. And so when they walk away, my highest goal is that they leave with a sense of peace, a sense of direction, fortitude, and the desire to move forward in all of the aspects of their lives. My favorite aspects to work is, of course, love, relationship, family members. I have been called upon to find things, such as a will that was lost. Ended up in a very strange place in the garage in a very old file cabinet. So that was fun. The opportunity to work with a local sheriff's department in trying to gather some information on a murder investigation. Was interesting phone call that I received. The sheriff had his doubts and I had his doubts, but I did give them over some, I believe, important details that no one would know except for a spirit. And since I have been in contact with that victim a few times, and it's truly rewarding. It helped the family figure out what happened, and I have been in the process of helping one of the family members move forward too, out of that grief area that we can become when we do lose a loved one, especially through violence or an accident. But my main goal, again, is to just have people go forward with their lives, and because we often forget that this is our journey too. My belief system is that we do get to experience life on earth and other places as many times as our soul chooses, so that we can develop and learn and expand through every kind of experience imaginable. I suggest that everyone try and develop their intuitive or their psychic abilities. I can't think of any better way to enhance your life, to enhance your career, your relationships. It's magical, and we were all born with it so that we can use it. And once we really understand that this is a God-given gift, that it can't be taken away, that it isn't just given to a few of us, that we all come down with it so that we can grow. Each experience, and I'm a believer that we are born time and time again. This isn't a one-shot deal. You don't have to get everything right. I believe that it makes our life easier because each lifetime we have these lessons, these stories that we want to experience, these relationships that we want to delve into, so that we can expand our awareness, so we can become more godlike, so that we can perfect ourselves. And how magical can it be if we can actually connect on a deeper level, not just physically and not just with what our eye sees, and just how much more we can learn and take in, and how these experiences don't have to be quite as devastating, but merely just experiences. I try to stress this with all of my clients that, again, it's not just a one-shot deal, that we get to do this time and time again in hopes that they can see that they don't have to perfect everything, that every decision isn't an end-all be-all, that everything isn't going to just fall apart if we make the wrong decision. So that we can also understand that we don't have to be so hard on ourselves. As I always say, listen, there's a million other people out there that will treat you poorly. You don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to help them along. And so we can be more kind with ourselves. And if we're more kind with ourselves, then our lives just tend to be easier. The ups and downs aren't quite as disparaging. So if we can understand that and we can develop it, there's many ways to develop your gifts. Just reading books, attending classes. I would say find like-minded people There's many groups out there that you can connect with of people just wanting to practice or talk about their experiences in a safe and fun and friendly atmosphere so that you can learn from each other and to know that we're all connected and help each other. So this year's Edge Psychic and Healing Symposium is going to be a fantastic show. And I'm honored to be part of a panel of a couple of other psychics and mediums. And we're going to address things that are going on in the 2015 year ahead with everything that we hear on the news, with everything that Earth is going through. There's going to be a lot of shift changes. And we're going to attempt to tap into that psychically and intuitively from a healing perspective. We're also going to be allowing participants in the audience to ask us a question so that they can receive their answer from 3 unique perspectives. This is something that I've been pushing for several years now. About 10 years ago, I started a company with 4 lovely women, and we really wanted to push forward the idea of working as a group or a village. I believe Catherine Harward talked about this several years ago, and we just find that it's so important to be able to work as a community because the person that you're helping is going to benefit. So I did leave the company about 1.5 years ago. I passed the baton over to another lovely, talented woman, and so that I could move forward and just kind of start seeking out other people. And that's why often I will work with other psychics or healers. I will teach with them as well as we move through the United States. And it's just a really great experience. There's so many perspectives out there, and each psychic receives their information differently. It's their own experience. And the client is going to get their flavor, is going to get their perspective or their perception on that information coming through. And when you have the opportunity to have your question or issue looked at by 3 or 4 or more psychics at one time, you can only imagine the beautiful story that's going to be given over. Not much is going to be missed, which is really great. So I'm really excited to be working with Gary Beckman again and the other psychics on the panel as well, and hopefully that you will come and join us this year.
The Edge Life Expo and Events would like to invite you to the 15th Annual Minneapolis Holistic Expo at the Earl Brown Heritage Center. The expo will feature keynote speakers James Van Praagh, Kayla Michelle, Kelly Miller, and others. There will be over 80 exhibitors, 25 workshops, psychics, healers, and so much more. For more information, go to edgelife.net.
My name is Gary Beckman. I'm the producer of the Edge Life Expos. I'll see you at the event.
Death is nothing to be afraid of. It's a beautiful thing. It's a transition. It's a wonderful thing, and it's a part of life. And it's not something that should be feared upon or anything like that.
Know that she comes around you a lot. Random thoughts aren't so random. All right, really, they're not. Certain songs come on the radio that you hear that remind you of your mom, and you need to know that she puts those on the radio for you to hear. Turn that stuff up and jam out.
I'm Psychic Medium Kelly Miller. My official name is Psychic Medium Kelly Miller. And I'm a psychic, so I can sit there and tell you where you've been, where you're at, where you're going. And then a medium, obviously, I can talk to loved ones that have crossed over into spirit.
My daughter didn't know what happened because it happened so fast. They said she broke her neck and she was dead instantly. And Kelly said that she walked away and didn't know anything till she seen the ambulances. She didn't know what was going on. And to believe in angels. And we have a picture that somebody sent us, like they said 15 minutes after it happened, that was in the sky.
At the core of who I am is still a psychic medium, but I'm like everybody else. I'm a normal, everyday person. I just have some abilities that I pay attention to more than other people do. I think everybody has psychic abilities. I just happen to pay attention to mine a little bit more often, and I'm a big proponent in that if you have these abilities, you help people, and you help people for their highest good if you've got these.
She talked about my brother's passing and being a suicide, how it was a quick decision, and which it really was. There was no leading indicators up to that point that he had any thoughts of that.
What do you think? And she goes, is Grandpa going to die? And I said, yes, he is. And you know what? Circle of life. Everybody dies. You know he's going to go to heaven again. He'll probably come into our dreams anyway.
My dad had mentioned to me something to do with a car accident, and I looked at my dad and I said, well, that's not how it happened. And I told him in detail how the accident happened. Enough and much that he went actually sheet white, and he looked right at me and he goes, how did you know this? And I said, well, because Uncle Jim told me.
Are you kidding me? No one knows that except for her and I. My daughter her and her husband have been married a short time, and they're trying to have kids, and she said, if I ever have a child, I want to have owls in our room.
Pay attention to how decisions and people make you feel. That's the most important thing.
Now, how old are the grandkids? We got 5?
And 1 5-year-old. Yeah.
Okay, so because I was supposed to acknowledge the grandkids, and his name is the middle name of one of them, is that correct? Because he's like so proud.
I said something about a guy that his dad had crossed over, and I said, I don't know why you're so upset. I said, your dad's right behind you anyway, rainbow suspenders and black and white label beer. I said, he was the life of the party then, he's still the life of the party now. And everybody looked right at me, and I realized right then and there, that's why my dad told me to shut up.
And all those different validations have really solidified, why we came tonight.
The more you get connected, the more it kind of opens up Pandora's box as far as, you figuring out who you are, where you're coming from, why you're here, all the things, and, you tried this, didn't like this, so now you're going to try it this way.
Is everything he said true?
Yes, it is. He was in the hospital 6 weeks before he passed.
There are some extraordinary stories in James's book, Talking to Heaven.
Internationally renowned psychic medium and #1 New York Times best-selling author, James Van Praagh is recognized as one of the most insightful and accurate spiritual mediums of our time. And he continues to be the most highly sought-after medium on popular radio and television programs.
I love you so much, and I want everyone to know he did me. He gave me a psychic reading because my mom passed away 2 years ago, and he was amazing and totally spoke to my mom and knew things that nobody could ever say that you're full of it, because I know firsthand that you are absolutely not full of it.
His communication with the other side brings solace and spiritual insights to millions by expanding perceptions of life, death, and the connection between.
I know there was some problems ahead of time with the family. You understand that? And he wants to say he's very sorry for being so stubborn.
Dedicated to elevating the consciousness of the planet, James travels the world, teaching mediumship development classes, hosting cruises to spiritual destinations, and conducting sold-out seminars.
Television's most famous medium, James Van Praagh, is having Hollywood visions.
During his career, his reputation and profession have seen him work with international heads of state, religious world leaders, and known entertainment celebrities.
A lot of celebrities continue to come, that Oprah and Cindy Williams, and Whoopi Goldberg. Cher contacted you to reach Sonny Bono.
Yeah, and he said, you were sitting on the closet floor. I was holding the earrings that I gave you for like our 8th anniversary, and I was watching you. And she said, yes, I was doing that.
He is the co-executive producer of the #1 hit series Ghost Whisperer, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt.
He and I have had the opportunity to get a unique friendship going.
Want more James? Then you've come to the right place. You've arrived at vanpraagh.com. Now, take the next step to connect with James.
There are 2 hospitals that they wanted to bring him to, okay? I don't know if one was full, and they had to go to another hospital.
How did you know that?
The Edge Life Expo and Events would like to invite you to the 15th Annual Minneapolis Holistic Expo at the Earl Brown Heritage Center. The Expo will feature keynote speakers James Van Praagh, Kayla Michelle, Kelly Miller, and others. There will be over 80 exhibitors, 25 workshops, psychics, healers, and so much more. For more information, go to edgelife.net.
My name is Gary Beckman. I'm the producer of the Edge Life Expos. I'll see you at the event.